They're being applauded onto the bus by the directors of the club, including Sir John Hall. This should be some trip.
It's a thank you to the fans, you know, I said before, but it is. It's a very emotional evening. It's Roy the Rovers, as Kevin said this morning. You couldn't have written the story, but it's unbelievable.
Well, as you can see, I'm having a job holding the crowd back, but I've got a lot of strength. I'm just about managing here. Now, how long have you been here today?
Since 3 o'clock today, and QTS since 3 o'clock.
I see you've got the right gear on for the occasion.
Yes, certainly.
What do you think of the atmosphere here tonight?
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And there's a tremendous view. That must be from our camera, which is just about by the Regent Centre, which is to the north of Gosforth High Street. They come down there between Melton Park and Brunton Park, if you know the area, past Northern Rugby Club, and then down here opposite the giant hypermarket. It certainly looks as though the fans are walking alongside them. They're going along very much at walking pace.
What do you think of tonight?
I'm absolutely overwhelmed. I think it's one of the most wonderful nights we've ever had. They're dynamic. The football club and Sir John Hall have brought to this city something that you can't refer to in words. It's so wonderful.
Being a Geordie, it's even more special there. Us lads here. Got me Terry Mac hairstyle on, as you can see here.
It's got note in there, you know. You've drank it all. You've drank it all.
Aye.
But really, I mean, you remember this for the rest of your life, won't you?
Most definitely, yeah. It'll stay with us. Doesn't matter what happens in the rest of my career. This year's been ever so special. Made up of every dream possible.
Lads are hot. We're gonna give it all we've got. Lads are hot. 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 The lads are hot. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
I'm taking yeah, by the way. I'm Melanie Doon.
job very briefly on behalf of what I consider to be a team worthy of your support. It's taken a long time. We've always known that we've had the best supporters. I think the one thing we needed was a team to match you. It's not easy when you're as great as you people are. We came back one year with the European Cup with Liverpool, and I thought I would never see anything like that again. But just like you have all season and before when I played here, you've come up trumps again. You're even better. Thank you.
Season for Newcastle United, brought to you in association with Newcastle Exhibition, always supporting the best in North East sport.
Andy Cole and David Kelly. Can he wrap it all up now? David Kelly. It's all over now. David Kelly and Keegan celebrates. And Newcastle United are champions of the First Division now.
Newcastle United's remarkable success story really started in May '92 at Leicester. Relegation for the first time to the old Division 3 was avoided. Ironically, 12 months later, they'd be celebrating another famous victory over the same side. Keegan's dream was coming true. First, he persuaded the ambitious Gavin Peacock that his brightest football future was on Tyne's side. Next, he injected some championship-winning pedigree with Barry Venison from Liverpool. Then he completed a formidable full-back partnership with John Beresford, an outstanding prospect at Portsmouth. Finally, he snatched Paul Bracewell from rival Sunderland, and it was the midfielder who was to ignite the black and white touch paper. The opening game of a new season, the traumas of escaping relegation are long forgotten, and the mood on the terraces is astonishingly high. You could almost sense something special was about to happen.
Knocked in towards Kilcline. Oh, that's a screaming goal from Paul Bracewell. Oh, what a start for Bracewell, and what a start for Newcastle.
Bracewell's goal was a fitting introduction to an amazing success story. Lee Clark was also quickly into his stride as Newcastle disposed of Southend in enough style to send every fan home excited. But hopes really began to soar after Kevin Keegan crossed swords with his mentor Arthur Cox. His old manager's Derby side had been expensively assembled, but the promotion favourites were swept aside.
Franz Carr, and he's turned him through the legs. Kilcline, back for Carr. Peacock at the far post, 1-0. Newcastle ahead, Gavin Peacock. Lee Clark, back for Venison. Newcastle keeping the ball moving. Clark brought back into it. Clark having a go here. And Clark, it's 2-0 now, Lee Clark.
With 3 goals in his first 4 league and cup games, Gavin Peacock was soon flying. Against another promotion contender, West Ham, Peacock took the captaincy and led from the front.
Quickly taken for Franz Carr. Carr comes inside, Scott is up there, a little touch for Howie, and Peacock! And Peacock, and it's in there, and Newcastle have got the lead. Peacock, the man of the moment. And Kelly, and Peacock again, and Lee Clark, and the whistle goes, does it? No. And Kelly, and 2-0.
David Kelly was now off the mark as Newcastle fans were getting their money's worth. Another Kelly goal sealed win number 4. It was already proving an eventful season for goalkeepers. A trip to lowly Bristol Rovers gave Tommy Wright his toughest test yet. But the new back pass rule gave Kevin Sheedy a foothold in the West Country. It was the head of Liam O'Brien, though, that made it 15 points out of 15. The The goals had been flowing without the help of Mickey Quinn, reduced to another spectator, usually from the bench. But the club's most regular scorer seized his chance when he got the call up against his old club, Portsmouth, and his old boss, Jim Smith.
Often losing out to Lee Clark, who was too quick for him. And Clark's carried on a great run. Kelly is pointing where he wants it. It's come deep for Mickey Quinn. Mickey Quinn scores for Newcastle. Quinn is back. Now Lee Clark skipping through defenders, the touch by Quinn. David Kelly. Beautifully taken by David Kelly. Beresford again looking lively. Fran's car is over there. Clark gets away from his man. And Quinn this time. And it's 3. It's a second for Mickey Quinn. And no one will take that one away from him.
But even Quinn's super show couldn't guarantee a first-team place. He was still back on the bench against Bristol City. A brave decision by Keegan, but Peacock came back to top a 5-star performance. Magnificent 7 wins out of 7, but still Keegan was searching for improvement. He beat Middlesbrough to the signing of Robert Lee, a bargain in the making at $700,000 from Charlton. Ironically, Lee was pitched straight into action against the club he nearly joined. Newcastle and the Borough fought out a thrilling derby that somehow didn't produce a goal. Newcastle were still doubling crowds wherever they went. The so-called Toon Army marched down to Peterborough, but goals were still hard to come by. Lee set up the winner at London Road for Kevin Sheedy to convert impeccably. Newcastle's football got the wider audience it deserved when Brentford's Griffin Park put United on a live television stage.
And Kelly through the middle here, they were looking around for a flag. And Kelly, and he's got it. It's a goal for Newcastle. Now Lee Clark. Skipping around the outside and wide for Beresford. And Lee turns. And was it in? It is now.
There was no stopping them. Premier League Borough couldn't live with their local rivals in the return leg of the Coca-Cola Cup.
And Lee Clark, no offside. Kelly in the middle. Kelly, it's all over now for Middlesbrough, surely.
The new St James's management weren't going to repeat past mistakes by letting local talent go. Wearside-born Steve Howie and Tyneside Lee Clark were soon signing new contracts. Before the next game against Tranmere, Kevin Keegan shared his Manager of the Month award with Terry McDermott. Again, 1 goal was enough to make it 10 out of 10. David Kelly keeping United on target to make league history. Of all teams, Sunderland at Roker Park provided the obstacle between United and the win they needed to equal the First Division record set by Spurs' double-winning side of the 60s. The Roker men scored the first 2 goals, but 1 for each side left it level. It needed a touch of magic.
Here goes O'Brien. Beautifully done by Liam O'Brien. That was absolute perfection.
Oh, there's no doubt that the start we had gave us the belief, the self-belief to go on and do what we did all season, and the confidence in that the way we were playing was the right way. And we had a little bit of luck with injuries too, but if you're asking me, did I think it was one in the 11 games at the start of the season? It certainly didn't do us any harm to have 33 points after 11 games.
But nobody wins every game, and Reading's record of 13 wins was almost in sight until Grimsby's Jim Dobbin brought down the curtain on United's show-stopping start to the season. A first league defeat, but 33 points out of 33 had shown the strengths Kevin Keegan had developed in his born-again team. Irish eyes were smiling, Liam O'Brien a constant strength in midfield with an appetite for spectacular goals.
And Peacock wide for Quinn. And there for O'Brien. What a goal from Liam O'Brien. That's a superb strike. And it's O'Brien. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful goal that was.
Convincing Gavin Peacock to stay at Newcastle instead of moving to Premier League Middlesbrough was proving to be a masterstroke. And 2 goals at Charlton helped end a comparatively lean spell when Newcastle had only managed 1 win in 6 league and cup games. At the back, Steve Howie had been a revelation. From an only average centre-forward, he'd moved back to become a composed, creative defender who'd not completely lost his old striker's touch. The Barclays Young Eagle Award came before the home game against Watford. At full time, it was Robert Lee who was taking the applause after scoring his first league goal. Lee's increasing versatility was more testimony to Keegan's shrewd judgment of players. David Kelly's early scoring form had dried up a little, but after 7 games without a goal, Kelly regained his touch in style.
And Peacock still has to turn, and finally does, and Kelly is there, and it's a goal by Kelly! And here goes Robert Lee. Plenty of movement ahead. Lee Clark, through to Kelly. Oh, superb goal for Davy Kelly. His 2nd of the game, and a real cracker. Here goes Kelly. No problem. That's the hat-trick for David Kelly. And it's 3-0 to Newcastle, and good night, Cambridge.
But First Division defences still hadn't woken up to Kelly's goal-scoring range. If Santa was a Geordie, then all Lee Clark wanted for Christmas was a goal. His first in 4 months came at Oxford in their last game of 1992. A defeat was still a rare event. This reverse at the Manor Ground was only United's 4th of the season. At the halfway mark, Keegan's heroes-to-be were 12 points clear and with every right to expect a happy new year.
You'll find the very latest in home entertainment at Northern.
1993 saw Newcastle's promotion challenge virtually go on tour. In between FA Cup commitments, Keegan's heroes faced 6 away games out of their opening 9 fixtures of the new year. It was a formidable challenge to Newcastle's fly-away Premier League ambitions. Newcastle's first test came at Bristol City. United produced a performance Keegan described as a blend of skill and steel, fighting back from a goal down to snatch the points from Dennis Smith's struggling team. But on home ground against Peterborough, United were soon back in the old routine.
And Peacock lets the ball do the work. Can he get the cross in? And what a great goal there by Robert Lee! Walsh jumping here, or not jumping as it happens. It bounced well for Robert Lee now. What a cracking goal! Lee looking to get around the outside of the defence. Here's Lee though, and Venison through, and denied by Bennett, and Peacock could still be on, and Kelly, and 3-0.
Newcastle were on their travels 4 days later and straight into another tough battle, this time at Southend. Gavin Peacock set them up, but by the end they had to settle for a first away draw of the season. After a cup trip to Rotherham, it was next stop Luton. A difficult pitch proved a great leveller between the teams with the worst home record and best away. A goalless draw would later look a good result. There was another draw to come when Derby County provided United's next home test, but it looked like never on a Sunday as United chased an equaliser and kept a live TV audience waiting and waiting.
Maybe Lee can do it now. Lee getting out wide and getting the ball in the middle. And he can come for O'Brien, that's the equaliser. It's 1-1. It's Liam O'Brien. They've got it at last. Keegan smiles. You think they've won the cup.
Down on the south coast, the club's former manager Jim Smith was mounting another promotion challenge, this time with Portsmouth. Newcastle's defence was one of many who found the First Division's goal machine Guy Whittingham unstoppable. East London's hopes of Premier League football rested on the powerful shoulders of a real Cockney hero, Billy Bonds. His West Ham team reflected all their managers' competitive instincts as the league's top two clubs were locked in stalemate. But a valuable away point, a game showed Newcastle could dig in when they had to. United were on a twice-a-week schedule. A rare home game against bottom-of-the-table Bristol Rovers just didn't seem to fire them up. Another goalless draw left them flat and frustrated. By the time Newcastle arrived at Tranmere, even Keegan admitted his team were feeling the strain. Rovers were United's third successive away game against promotion contenders. With just 3 goals and 2 points from their previous 6 games, their huge army of travelling fans were praying for a convincing result. They got it in style.
Now Lee Clark, can he get round the back of the defence here? There's a bit of space opened up. Lee Clark looking for the shot and finished off, and it's a goal there. Robert Lee picks up the pieces. Lee Clark taking the corner kick. Scott gets a little header to it, and Kelly, and it's a second goal. It's David Kelly. But now we could be finishing off in style. Robert Lee. Lee looking to finish here, and he strolls it in.
At the end of that, Terry Mack and myself sat down and we said, well, if we don't do it now, we looked at the fixtures, if we don't do it now, we've only ourselves to blame because we've done the hard work.
What he's done is he's actually got success on the park, but more than that, the football they've been playing has been so entertaining, it's been a pure pleasure and a joy to watch.
This is the time capsule.
If Newcastle were going to make club history, Chairman Sir John Hall was making sure there'd be a record. A time capsule was buried as Newcastle launched a massive spending spree on and off the pitch. Work was started on the Leazes End stand, a £5 million development. The team itself was looking $1 million. Clubs of more modest means like Brentford found it hard to bridge the gap in cash or class.
Still not clear. Benstead under pressure and misses it. Lee and Kelly, and 1-0. He's not going to turn down a chance like that. Mark gets face-to-face on goal. It wouldn't fall for Stimson. And back there for Bracewell. 2-0. Kelly all bouncing awkwardly. And Lee Clark. That's 3. Harrisford still looking to get this one in. Stimson. That's 4. Robert Lee. Clark made the run. Can he make it count? Clark! It's 5 this time.
Spend when you're winning seemed to be the motto. A double swoop landed Scott Sellers from Leeds and Mark Robinson from Barnsley for another $1 million or so. Both made their debuts the next night against Charlton, but the Londoners' former hero was in the driving seat.
This is Robert Lee against his old club. Oh, what a start for Robert Lee. That's the goal he really would have wanted.
The money was still flying in all directions. An estimated 7-figure sum was coming the club's way thanks to a new shirt deal with ASICS. And they'd need every penny as the club continued its astonishing spending spree. A record fee of £1.75 million went on Bristol City's Andy Cole. He came on as a sub at promotion rival Swindon, but could do nothing about a controversial defeat. The new boy was putting the pressure on David Kelly and co, but it only served to foster a richly profitable partnership.
Robert Lee charging at the defence. It's through for Kelly, thanks very much. Lee Clark out wide, good cross, brilliant finish, David Kelly. Kelly, good ball in for Cole, and that's his first, the first of many for Andy Cole. Looks as though he's going to launch one. Kelly on the chase. Kelly turning his man well. Sellers, Cole! 2-1, Andy Cole again. Cole really battling for it, and Cole getting it. And that is savage punishment from Andy Cole. 3 in 4 games. Venison up, supporting the attack. Forward for Cole. Good turn. Still Cole. Yes! Posse of defenders there around Andy Cole. It's out for David Kelly. Cole again, 2-0. Straight onto the attack right at the beginning of the second half here. Robert Lee, real strength on the ball. And here's Cole, and that's the hat-trick for Andy Cole. Hit deep there, Kilcline underneath it. Andy Cole, twisting, turning and scoring. You just can't stop him, Andy Cole.
We sat down, thought about it and said, well, why wait till the end of the season and get in a sort of race for these signatures? Let's go and get them now and just frighten the rest of the league off. The chairman and the board have backed everything we've done. Providing there's a plan there, this board will back it.
To get back in this position again, say, had we failed this season, it's a lot of hard work to get next season where we were now. And it was the final push that I decided to go out and to spend the money on Cole and the other players. And we just made the decision, let's go for it. It was a pure business decision to consolidate the club and a push for the ultimate success, which we've actually got now.
It was 36 years since Newcastle had beaten Sunderland twice in a season, but by now certain promotion was almost in sight. Monsoon conditions nearly washed away the first Tyne Wear derby to be live on TV, but nothing could stop freestyling United.
He leaves it. It's a goal! Scott Sellers!
Predictable celebrations at the end, leaving Sunderland to face a worsening relegation battle, but United looked as if they were on their way to glory. Kevin Keegan and Terry McDermott's team could have wrapped up promotion without kicking a ball, but West Ham kept in the hunt, winning at Swindon, sending United into the night of their lives at Grimsby.
But now that's Andy Cole, and that's a goal for Andy Cole. What a start to the second half, 24 seconds. Andy Cole and David Kelly, can he wrap it all up now? David Kelly. It's all over now. David Kelly and Keegan celebrates, and Newcastle United are champions of the First Division now. They've ended it in style, and there was no way those fans were going to go home. The Toon Army, they've been on the march all around the country. They've swelled the crowds wherever they've gone, and they've come here tonight and got exactly the celebration they were looking for. Lee Clark, an outstanding season, a lad from Wallsend. He knows exactly what it means to the people on the terraces. The celebrations will go on. There's the crown, King Kevin. Special K as a player, it's King Kevin now as a manager.
But Newcastle's young prince was Lee Clark. 24 hours later, his brilliant season was rewarded. He'd played every game and was now the North East Footballer of the Year. There was no time to celebrate with yet another game a day later. Against Oxford, the 20-year-old came up with his own salute, the toast of the Gallagher end. And that man Andy Cole kept up his incredible goal-scoring form. St James's Park was ready to party. The First Division Championship trophy passed into Newcastle's proud possession before the final match against Leicester City. Leicester again, the team who could have proved their downfall. But the Midlanders were to be on the receiving end of perhaps the most spectacular display in the club's history. It was a footballing fantasy made real by Kevin Keegan's heroes.
For Kelly, David Kelly, good save, and Cole, meat and drink to Andy Cole. 3 down for Cole, and now it's Robert Lee. 2-0, Robert Lee. Cole again gets it back, and Lee Clark looking for David Kelly. 3-0, David Kelly gets his goal. But here's Sellers, and Lee Clark, and Kelly. Kelly again. Superb finishing from David Kelly. The celebrations go on and on. bouncing ball there. Kelly got a lovely knock down on it, and Cole, 5! It's all going their way. They can do absolutely nothing wrong. Clark there, Sellers and Robinson, and Kelly, it's 6! Unbelievable! Now Lee Clark with a little bit of room. Been anywhere near the amount of room before, but now it's Cole through the middle. Andy Cole, here we go again! Andy Cole gets his hat-trick now. That's his second for Newcastle, and it's lucky 7.
The greatest moments from Newcastle United's championship season were brought to you in association with Newcastle Exhibition.